Are you getting frustrated with what to feed a teenager who's always hungry? Everybody knows that teenagers have a huge appetite. It seems like you need to feed them constantly to satisfy their hunger. It's even more difficult where teenagers who struggle with their weight truly want to make changes, like cut down on junk food or stop overeating, and they can't. There's frustration, isolation, stress, and that's why I decided to create a recipe collection of 30 easy and healthy meals for teenagers. They're all high in protein to satisfy your teenager's hunger, and they can all be ready in less than 30 minutes. If you want to grab a free copy, go to lifestyleforteens.com/recipes.
This is the Lifestyle and Weight Loss for Teens podcast. If you're a mom and want to help your child who is struggling to lose weight, you are in the right place. If you are looking for healthy lifestyle tips, Dr. Gorgery is here to help you understand the science around safe weight loss in teens and children. Because what works for adult weight loss is not always the best for children. This podcast is for educational purposes only. Dr. Gorgery does not provide medical, psychological, or nutrition therapy advice. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat any health problems without consulting your own medical practitioner. And now, your host, Dr. Jenny Gorgery.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Lifestyle and Weight Loss for Teens podcast. This is Dr. Jenny Gorgery. And on today's episode, I would like to focus on a topic that has to do with energy drinks and sport drinks that I know are often consumed by children and teenagers. In particular, I will mention some things that recently the American Academy of Pediatrics published in their clinical report, and the title of this manuscript is Clinical Reports, Sport Drinks and Energy Drinks for Children and Adolescents. Are they appropriate? And I think the American Academy of Pediatrics decided to put out this clinical report because sports and energy drinks are advertised again and again all the time. We see advertising on social media. We see advertising on TV. We see them in schools. They're offered in activities when kids go to play sports. And of course, they're advertised as energy drinks that they can boost energy. They can make kids have better concentration. They can be more alert while they're playing. They can make them less tired. And oftentimes they can have in those drinks not just carbohydrates, which is another way of sugar, but they can also put amino acids, they can put caffeine, they can put protein, they can put vitamins, they can put electrolytes. And of course, all these are necessary for growing teenagers. But the question is, are they really necessary to be served in those energy and sport drinks? And do they really need those drinks, especially if they are following a well-balanced diet? And in general, when we say well-balanced diet, we refer to consuming at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, drink a lot of water, and as a simple rule, they can just have half of their plate with vegetables, a quarter of their plate with protein, and a quarter of their plate with carbohydrates. So the question is, when they follow a well-balanced diet, they still go and play out in the field, and oftentimes that's where they consume sport drinks. So sport drinks and energy drinks are kind of similar, but not exactly the same. And so here's the difference. So sport drinks are drinks that they contain carbohydrates, electrolytes, and are intended to replenish the water and electrolytes that the kids lose while they're doing intense activity. On the other hand, when we're talking about energy drink, is a kind of drink that gives boost, that has the purpose is to have extra substances like carnitine, ginseng, caffeine, taurine, and a few others, that the purpose is to give more energy so that they can enhance the performance, so that teenagers can run faster, they can coordinate better, they can play better, and all those things in sports. So let's go back to the basics. The American Academy of Pediatrics stresses out that water is an essential part of the daily diet. And it is the best way for hydration. There is a lot of dehydration going on, especially when teenagers and kids play sports. And the best way to replenish that is get enough water. If you get enough water, first of all, you will replenish the water you're losing through sweat while you're playing intense activity. The question is, do you also need to replenish electrolytes? Are you also in need of replacing the electrolytes? So for teenagers that have prolonged, vigorous, and intense activity, then they may need a drink that is there to give them more sugar, because the sugar alone can provide more energy and they can enhance their performance. When they exercise too long, when they're actively playing, doing vigorous activity for 1 or 2 hours, that can also have a small effect on decreasing their sugar level. So they want something to bring that sugar up to give them more energy. Now, any drink that has carbohydrates, like milk has carbohydrates, orange juice has carbohydrates, all those drinks that have sugar can replenish the energy deficit that you have, that can give you this boost that you may need during exercise. So instead of considering a drink that may be less healthy because it is not whole food, like milk is a natural food, orange juice that you make at your home is a natural drink, it may be more healthy, get that, compared to buying something that has also a lot of other substances that are there to preserve the flavor and all those things that are not really natural and you don't really need them. And we know that we can give electrolyte replenishment in kids that can have specific problems like intense vomiting and usually that happens in younger kids that cannot eat anything. But on a child that has a regular balanced diet, there is really no reason why they should use electrolyte enhancement. And let me repeat this because I think this is very important to understand, that kids that have a healthy, balanced diet, they get little to no advantage from sport drinks over plain water. Maybe an exception to this rule can be athletes that are inappropriately restricting their certain electrolytes, like they may not have salt or they may drink a lot of water, because this can be more susceptible to having some electrolyte abnormalities, right? But going to grab a drink to replenish the electrolyte abnormality that you think you may have is not necessarily the best approach. First of all, you should talk to your doctor about your concerns. You should talk to your doctor and see if what your experience is indeed an electrolyte deficit, because there should be a reason if that happens. So go and talk to your doctor before you engage in getting any of those drinks that may have advertised for electrolyte replacement. The same thing is also about the specific amino acids like taurine that are used for enhancing the performance. We do know that protein is important for muscle build. We do know that teenagers can get daily protein depending on the weight. That is usually 1.2 to 2 grams for every kilogram of their body weight. And they can have source of protein again in foods that are whole foods, like milk has protein, eggs have protein, chicken has protein. They can get this from their daily diet. They don't need to have artificially enhanced beverage that has extra amino acids and God knows what else they put in those sports drinks and energy enhancement drinks. And again, if you have questions about specific drinks that you consume and you're wondering whether they're okay, before you actually get in the habit of getting this because you think this is going to enhance your performance, I encourage you to talk to your doctor and see whether this is true or not. It may have the negative effect. While you think this is going to help me enhance my performance, the reality is that not only the performance is not significantly enhanced, but at the same time, you may end up getting unnecessary sugar that you don't need. The recommendation for sugary drinks by the American Academy of Pediatrics is 0. Nobody really needs to have any sugary drinks. We can all get the nutrients we need from healthy food options. We can get it from just get orange juice and squeeze up 3 oranges and have the orange juice from freshly squeezed oranges or eat the orange. You can drink milk. You can eat food that has all of the electrolytes and the minerals that you need. If you're tired, eat a banana with water. That is a good alternative to using whole foods to get energy, to get electrolytes, to get carbohydrates, to get the sugar that you need, instead of using energy and sport drinks that often contain extra sugar that you don't need. And again, there are always some athletes that they are competitive athletes that they may do extensive, very vigorous programs. And I would say this kids is a different category of kids. So if you are one of those kids, again, discuss that with your doctor because the requirements for competitive athletes can be different than the kids that are not competitive athletes. So before you consume those drinks that you think are enhancing your performance, I recommend and I suggest you talk to your pediatrician about it. You read at the label, you go over the ingredients, and also just try before you engage in consuming all these sport drinks and energy drinks, I recommend you try replenishing your energy with natural fruits and vegetables and water and see whether you get the same effect that you're looking for. And finally, I just want to put this disclaimer out that the views that I describe in this podcast are my views. These do not represent the views of the American Academy of Pediatrics. This report was published in 2011, and it now has been retired as a clinical report. There also had some other things from American Academy. I just want to make sure I do not represent the American Academy of Pediatrics. I just find this information very helpful, and I think it is still very relevant, and all this just represent my personal view. So I hope this was helpful to you. And as a final note, if you're interested to get healthier smoothies that will give you also energy instead of using energy drinks and sport drinks, you can also go to lifestyleforteens.com/smoothies and get a collection of free recipes I put together for you where you use fruits mixed with yogurt or other ingredients that are more natural to help you get that energy and also get vitamins and your fruits servings for the day. I'll talk to you next week. Take care.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, I invite you to come check out the LIFT program. It's Dr. Gorgory's 12-week coaching program for teens and their moms, where we take all this information, we apply it to your daily life, and we work together so your teenager learns how to create a healthy lifestyle so they can feel happier, more confident, less stressed, and love their body again. Visit the website at lifestyleforteens.com and click on the Work With Me and free resources to learn more about this program and get free help to start this journey right away. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Lifestyle and Weight Loss for Teens.